So in 2025, I spent 1 month traveling in Uruguay. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things that you need to know as a tourist coming to Uruguay before you make your trip. Now, I will preface the video by just saying that Uruguay is a really pleasant country. Is it as exciting as its big neighbors, Brazil and Argentina? Probably not, no. However, Uruguay is a really nice place to come and relax. There's a fantastic cafe culture. I personally felt safer in Uruguay than many places in Europe, places like the UK, Sweden, Belgium, and you will see lots of nice architecture throughout the country. If you are from Uruguay, by the way, do let me know what things you think tourists need to know before they come to visit your country. But as for my personal suggestions, I think the first thing that tourists need to know before they come here is that this is not a budget-friendly country. Uruguay is expensive. Now, it is a little difficult to give you a direct comparison with other countries because a few things in Uruguay are actually quite cheap. One thing in particular I'm going to mention later on in the video is super cheap. However, there are a few things in the country that are extortionately expensive, i.e. Scandinavia level expensive. In particular, American fast food chains like Starbucks, McDonald's, they're everywhere in Montevideo. They are very expensive. If you want a coffee at Starbucks, you're going to at least be paying $7 for that. A McDonald's burger, fries, drink, that's going to be at least $12. There is an Argentinian fast food chain you see around called Mostaza too, and this is just as expensive as McDonald's, if not more expensive. Instead of these fast food chains, you're better off going to an independent coffee shop or an independent cafe. I mean, this is an example of a coffee shop that I went to. It's called Cafe Brasileiro. I had avocado toast, hot chocolate and a little croissant. They're called Media Lunas in Uruguay and Argentina. Now, for all of this at this cafe, this cost me around 11 British pounds, 30 pence, which is about $15 US. So for me, that's not too bad. It's comparable to Spain, Portugal kind of prices. But when I went to Starbucks and got myself a tiny little cinnamon roll and a medium-sized mocha, I paid about £9, 30 pence for that. I mean, for a little tiny pastry and a medium-sized coffee, I don't think that's good value for money. You're better off going to these fancy looking cafes in Uruguay, honestly. Now, you definitely are going to be trying the national dish of Uruguay when you're there. It's called chavito. It's a sandwich with beef and ham and bacon and mozzarella and tomato and lettuce and mayonnaise and fried egg, and I've probably forgot something. If you want the chavito with all the fillings and you want fries on the side, it's probably going to be at least 700 pesos in a restaurant, at least $17.5 US. So it's not too bad. I mean, it's quite expensive. It's probably UK, Germany level prices for going out to a restaurant and having a burger and fries. Now, as for alcohol prices probably quite similar to Western Europe. For a beer in a nice bar, you're probably going to be paying in the region of 250 pesos. But if you do like wine is certainly cheaper in Uruguay than what it is in the UK or the United States, for example. Obviously, there is a lot of wine production in the southern half of South America. I was seeing bottles of wine in supermarkets for around 350 to 450 pesos. And actually, just going back to the chavitos again, you can get cheaper chavitos at these takeaway trucks. You'll get them for around 400 pesos, so about $10 US at these trucks. So you can probably appreciate prices in Uruguay are not budget friendly. You do need to have a bigger budget to come here. However, I did personally find public transport and buses in Uruguay to be quite affordable. For example, when I took a 2.5-hour bus journey from Montevideo to Punta del Este, which is a very famous beach town in Uruguay, this cost me around 8 British pounds 60p, which is around $11.40. I don't think that's too bad. That's certainly cheaper than bus and public transport tickets in my country, the UK. I also took a bus to a town called Colonia del Sacramento. That is actually the town where you take the ferry to go over to Argentina. This journey is give or take 3 hours, and this cost me 561 pesos, which is about $14 US. But overall, Uruguay is one of the most expensive countries in Latin America, if not the most expensive country in Latin America. It is certainly more expensive than Brazil. It's more expensive than Chile. It is more expensive than Argentina. I know prices in Argentina have gone up a little bit, but still to this day, Uruguay is more expensive. Now, I did promise earlier in the video that I would share with you something that is really, really cheap in Uruguay, and this links perfectly onto the second thing that you need to know about visiting the country. The second thing you need to know is this. do not download an eSIM app and buy an eSIM from one of these eSIM apps. Now, obviously these eSIM apps are more expensive anywhere in the world compared with local SIM cards. However, in some countries, it is just more convenient to pay the extra money and to use these eSIM apps. Maybe dangerous countries where it's kind of a bit dangerous to walk down the street to go to a phone shop with your passport, or maybe some countries like Brazil, for example, where sometimes these shops want you to give a CPF number, or countries like China where if you use a local SIM card, websites and apps can be restricted. But in Uruguay, no. These eSIM companies are ripping you off badly in Uruguay. Let me tell you what you need to do instead. So you need to head to an Antel store. So this on the screen is actually the store that I went to. Antel is the Uruguayan state telecommunications provider. Obviously, make sure you bring your passport with you. Go in there, just explain that you're a tourist and you want to get a tourist SIM card. Use Google Translate into Spanish if you need to, but there should be at least one employee in the store who can speak English. They will give you an option if you want to buy a physical SIM card, or if your phone does have eSIM capability, you have the option to get an eSIM instead of the physical card, and then you make the purchase. You can use foreign bank card to make the purchase. You make two purchases, so you pay once for the SIM card itself, or the eSIM privilege to use the eSIM. So that's 65 pesos, that is about $1.60. And then for 90 gigabytes of data for 30 days, you then pay 290 pesos, which at the time of recording is $7.25. So let's do the maths. 90 gigabytes of data for 30 days from Antel in total is going to cost you $8.80. That is a phenomenal deal. If you were using an eSIM for 90 gigabytes of data from one of these apps, you'd be paying over $100 for that level of data. And I think, if my memory serves me correctly, that is the cheapest SIM card I've ever bought after traveling to over 40 countries. I know my SIM card in Vietnam was more expensive than that. I know SIM cards in Argentina are more expensive than that. You get double the price in Argentina for 70% less data. So 100% go to the Antel store, get your SIM there. Do not use the apps on your phone. Now, the third thing that you need to know about Uruguay, again regarding money, a lot of this video today is actually regarding money. If you are booking an apartment or a hotel on booking.com, something like that, just check if you can pay using your foreign credit card, or whether you have to pay them in cash. One of the apartments that I booked required that I paid them in cash, so I would check that before you enter Uruguay. The reason that I would recommend doing this before you land into Uruguay is because if you do need to withdraw cash out from ATMs when you are in Uruguay, there is a withdrawal fee. It is 300 pesos at the time I record this video. So every time you go to the ATM, you are chucking away basically $7.50. That is virtually the same price as your 90 gigabyte SIM card. Additionally, there is a withdrawal limit to what you can withdraw from these ATMs in Uruguay. It tends to be 5,000 pesos. So let's say your apartment costs 12,000 pesos in cash. That means you've got to take 3 trips to the ATM and you've got to chuck away $7.50 3 times. You've basically wasted over $20 in withdrawing cash out. And in a country like Uruguay, an expensive country, it will add up. So as I said, you need to get your cash ready before you enter Uruguay if your apartment only accepts cash. Now, there are 4 currencies that you can bring into Uruguay to exchange into Uruguayan pesos at an exchange shop. So those currencies are euros, US dollars, Argentinian pesos, or Brazilian real. You can't bring in any other currency like British pounds, for example. These shops will only accept the 4 currencies that I mentioned. However, the good news is that most places, cafes, bars, restaurants, museums will all accept foreign bank card, so you don't need to worry about having cash for your day-to-day activities because you basically won't need it. I've also got some more good news for you as well, and this links perfectly into the 4th thing that you need to know about visiting Uruguay. If you have a foreign Visa bank card or a foreign MasterCard bank card, you get a VAT discount when you go to cafes, bars and restaurants. So instead of paying 22% VAT like Uruguayans pay, you pay 13% VAT instead. And this discount is automatically taken off as soon as you tap your card and make the payment on the card reader. This is the first country I've been to where I've experienced this. I mean, if you can take advantage of a little discount when you are in an expensive country like Uruguay, you may as well take advantage of it. So when you go to restaurants and cafes and bars, always use your foreign bank card. Now in Uruguay, they will always directly ask you if you want to pay a tip at a cafe or a restaurant. Watch out for that word propina or the word servicio, that means tip. And it is polite in Uruguay to pay a tip 5 or 10%, But the thing is this, because you're using your foreign bank card and you get a VAT reduction, even if you do pay them a tip, it kind of almost gets cancelled out by the VAT reduction. So the price you're actually paying when you tap your card onto the machine is basically the prices that you see on the menu if you do give them a tip. So you may as well give them a tip. I know it can be a bit challenging giving tips in expensive countries, but you may as well give the tip if you're getting the VAT discount anyway. And now finally, the fifth thing that I think you should know before you go to Uruguay is regarding the best time of year to visit the country. Now, most people and most Uruguayans will probably say the best time to visit the country is in the summer months, Southern Hemisphere summer, which is December, January, and February. I'm going to controversially disagree. Now, in summer, prices hike up and Uruguay is already expensive enough as it is. It's going to be very hot. Now, there are beaches in Uruguay, as you would have seen in these clips. However, the beaches in Uruguay, in my view, from what I saw, were not the best. If you want to go to South America and you want to go to great beaches, don't go to Uruguay. You may as well go to Brazil. Brazil is literally half the price, sometimes even more in some cases, and the beaches are 2, 3, 4 times better than the beaches in Uruguay. I recommend you come to Uruguay in shoulder season. So I think spring is a really good time to go, September, October, or maybe autumn, March, April, May. Now, I was there for a month in August, which is the end of winter, and there were literally like 3 or 4 rainy days. Most of the days were clear blue skies, as you can see in these clips here. Cold, yes. A bitter breeze, yes. But for the most part, it was perfect winter weather, between 12 to 16 degrees Celsius. I do wish it was a little warmer, but that is literally why I'm recommending you go in shoulder season, because in spring and autumn, it will be a little bit warmer than winter, and you'll still have plenty of blue sky days. Now, I will finish off with a couple of extra things that I think are worth bearing in mind before you come to Uruguay. Firstly, you can use Uber, the Uber application, in both Montevideo and Punta del Este. Uber prices are quite expensive, probably double, maybe even treble in some cases the prices you would pay in Brazil. For example, my Uber from the airport to the city centre of Montevideo cost me 1,018 pesos, which today is just over $25 US. But to be fair, this was in the middle of the night when there was not a lot of traffic about. I can imagine during the daytime, a ride on Uber from the airport is probably more expensive than that. In terms of entry requirements into Uruguay, you just have to check that for yourself based on which passport you hold. I hold a British passport. When I landed into Montevideo International Airport, and once I got to passport control, they just asked me which airline I flew with to get into Uruguay, and I said Gol Airlines. That was the airline that I flew with, and then he just stamped my passport and let me in. He did not ask me for proof of accommodation or how long I was staying for, but I would have that ready on your phone just in case they do ask that. I know that Argentina do ask those questions. Furthermore, can Uruguayans speak English? Most can't, so you will need to brush up on basic Spanish. The ones that can speak English will be very glad to go to English for you because they like to practice their English, but most people can't. So know some basic numbers in Spanish, know how to ask for the bathroom. Also, as I said earlier, watch out for that word propina or the word servicio. They're asking you if you want to pay a tip. They always ask that. And I did allude to this earlier, but in terms of safety, I felt very safe in Uruguay. I did not feel any danger really at all in Montevideo, nor Colonia, nor Punta del Este. Obviously use basic safety precautions, but when I was walking around at night in Montevideo, I even saw women walking the streets with headphones in their ears. I mean, you would not see that in Brazil. I spent 6 months in Brazil. No one would be wearing headphones walking down the street in Brazil, but in Uruguay, you see women do that. So that just shows you it's a pretty safe country. Now, do let me know what you think about the points that I have made in today's video, and do let me know if you are planning to go to Uruguay for the very first time sometime soon. If you have found the video today interesting and helpful, do click the like button, do click subscribe, and enjoy your travels to Uruguay.